So you are a FinTech founder or executive, and there's a gap you have to fill while you are looking to, whether you're pre-seed, you're looking for investing, funding, capital, looking to partner, build the credibility with banks or other B2B entities. More than anything, being known and respected in your industry, in the fintech industry as a leader, a thought leader, mover and shaker, innovator. Um, what's foundational to that is a personal brand, as I'm sure you've heard of. And of course, also communications. Communications, as far as like having, everything is found in relationships, right? And, since this is a highly regulated industry, and it involves money, the lifeblood beyond actual blood and food and air that humans need. Money is how, we get through in this life. So, communications is vital as far as how you're building trust, how you're building your credibility for people to want to invest in your brand, to be associated with your company, and to ultimately respect you, and for you to have longevity in this industry. Longevity, or if your goal is to build the company and sell, you still need to have these human elements of relationships and socializing. And, I'm sure you're gassed up on your intelligence and your accolades, but not everybody want to hear that shit. You got to know how to fucking talk to people. And when it comes to the benefit of being online, digital communication is just like, it's foundational. It's foundational because before any B2B partner reaches out to you, they're going to be filling out your presence. Anybody can say anything, but when you have actual proof of who you are, what you've done, the results that you've gotten, and you've leveraged being online to cultivate your web presence, to shape, that profile, it makes it easier for them to trust you, and it just makes them want to talk to you. And I know people be talking about, I'm sure you've read 48 Laws of Power, and I keep seeing like people talking about, I'd rather be feared than loved, or not really caring about people liking you. It's okay to be liked. You can be liked without performing. like, it's amazing. You can be authentic without being like the gimmicky or unfiltered aspect of that. Unfiltered as far as like you're being tactless or not really reading the room on what you're sharing, constantly looking to be controversial, to start conversations when it's just like, boo, you ain't gotta do all that. I promise you. So, my solution, I got two solutions. We'll save the next solution for another time. This solution that we're focused on is coaching. I am Malaine Ayo Best. I am the Innovation Strategist and CEO of LAINAVERSEworks, my innovation consultancy. How does that, why don't I say I'm a communication strategist or specialize, or that I have a communications consultancy or whatever? Because, like, I am original in the things that I come up with. I'm original with the solutions that I come up with. So, and then as like a through line of my other business and my past experiences, innovation is at the core of it. But I'm not an extrovert. I'm an ambivert. I'm an extrovert leaning ambivert. I do still need my time away from people, but I thrive in relationships where I'm just very selective about relationships. And, with that in mind, bringing that to you as a form of help for where you are with your business, whether you are pre-seed, you're looking for funding, you're building relationships with investors. Ultimately, they need to know who you are, not just what you do. What you do define it, it can shape, it does influence who you are. But ultimately, you still need to be able to share your vulnerabilities, share what motivated you, what still motivates you, what inspired you, like these very soulful human elements that build out the full picture of who you are. That, relationships are, um it's rooted in emotion. No matter what you get told about business and how impersonal folk try to act about human relations and being a human, as humans, we are emotional creatures. Now, give or take, if we have, there's the masculine, feminine kind of way of navigating the world, where it's not necessarily that emotion isn't you shouldn't fear your emotions. It's not this erratic thing that you should fear or that you should hide all the time, or that it's making you completely vulnerable. It's like, no, it's connection. At the end of the day, if you haven't heard, when it comes to people spending money, they do it from emotion and then justify it with logic, regardless of what they're going to tell you. So, how you present yourself, what your messaging is, what your story is very important to that process. So, that gets to, again, the specifics of my solution. So, like I said, coaching. My service is called the Biz and Chill Hours. That comes from my podcast and newsletter called The Art of Biz and Chill. I am a creative, innovative entrepreneur. And as someone who has had anxiety and depression and been around dysfunctional people and has been in the limbo of being raised middle class by parents who were raised in poverty or just close to the poverty line, like I've navigated the world of survival and urgency, the energies and the like thought processes behind that, and just being in America and how everything is just made urgent and survival wise. And it's like, you get more out of life when you relax, when you're chill, not when you're performing chill. Like you can get by some type of way, but like it's kind of like, if you look at look at water, you see your reflection. You're not going to see the reflection when it's rippling. It needs to be at rest for you to see your reflection. So that is the biz and chill element. Is I do business very laid back, very casual. I understand there's this notion of like business being war and there being conflict and cutthroat, and y'all can have that bullshit. That's like, do what you feel works for you. However, I've had my business successes from the sense of ease that I'm able to bring to an environment and anchoring that energy and using that as a basis to essentially make like my clients, prospects, my peers just comfortable with, they resonate with me easier because I'm relaxed. I'm relaxed for the most part. And I mean, I am a passionate woman, so I'm not like completely chill all the time, but it's the chill as far as like, again, not being performative, being myself. So with the Biz and Chill Hours, it is a 3-hour consult and coaching where we're anchoring in, elements of personal branding, storytelling, and communications to basically help you to evolve in how you're presenting yourself. And, you may be uncomfortable putting your face out online. You may be uncomfortable putting your voice online. You may be uncomfortable with doing video, or, you've been getting traction, but you feel uncomfortable being on podcasts. And, in some ways, you may be pitching and you're uncomfortable when you're pitching, or as far as like you're nervous and out of your mind, kind of like not feeling comfortable with expressing yourself and being yourself. Like, that is why I say that I position myself as the soul of B2B communications, because we are souls in a body. Your soul is a reflection of who you truly are. If you got some dark shit going on, you can kind of weave that into the story. Like, you can't turn people off and like freak them out, or be creepy, or be arrogant and manipulative and all this weird dark shit. It's like, no, you can take those elements of yourself, and because that is a part of you, that becomes a part of your story if that has helped to get you to where you are and you are looking to evolve from that. Or even if you're a more timid person, or just any kind of facet where you're not sure of how to communicate who you are to people, to build the relationships, or you have these relationships, but you feel that something's missing as far as getting them to take the next step that you feel will benefit the both of you. That kind of comes from a messaging gap. That comes from how you may not be presenting yourself fully. So the Biz and Chill Hours is time spent handling the business and the I don't want to say creative. It's the business and human side of things. Business is relationships. You're getting as far as you're getting in life based off of relationships. So basically, the breakdown for this service is you get 2 hours of us sorting out what your platform is, where you're looking to build, how you're presenting yourself, what your flaws may or may not be, and then figuring out the system, the strategy to execute that. 2 weeks from there, we do a 30-minute coaching to check in on results, fill in any blind spots. And then 3 weeks from there, we do another 30-minute check-in, once again to refine the system so that you're good. If you got a team, you and your team, or just you, are good to go for however the span is for that strategy. So if that sounds good to you, head down to the show notes. Go to LAINAVERSEworks.com for more details on the Biz and Chill Hours, or you can go right to my booking calendar and just set up time, make the payment, and I look forward to talking to you. Deuces for glory and pleasure, Malane Ayo.